Hey everybody, I'm Christianna, and here's what I'm doing today, which I think is how John starts off his other channel videos. I have the house to myself for a couple of days, and I want to do a lot of stuff to help reset it, partially getting stuff ready for our wedding that's coming up. We want to be able to have people at our house, whether they stay here overnight or just to come see the cats or whatever. And so there's a lot that we need to do to reset. So I'm going to make a list, and I'm going to take you along with me. Step one, or one of the items on the list, is going to be getting our bedroom in a reasonable state. So like those are all clean clothes. I've got like a stack of clothes that won't fit in my dresser, and then what we lovingly call sock mountain, because I have too many socks for my sock drawer. I don't wear all of them, but with them up like that, it's really difficult for me to see what like pairs, you know? And so I need to separate the ones that I don't want anymore. I also have this basket that is full of clothes that don't fit me anymore or that I just don't wear. This is just from going through 3 drawers of my dresser, so I need to go through the rest of the drawers of my dresser, and I need to put that somewhere that's not in this room. I'm not going to send it to Goodwill right away because soon we're having a community garage sale event, and we want to put a lot of the clothes in the garage sale. Same, there's a pile of John's clothes over there, so I need to go through the rest of my stuff and get that done. I also need to do some laundry. I need to change the bed sheets because it's been a while. And so step one, I am going to get the laundry going because it's going to take me a while to make my list, and that's something that can be happening in the background. Load 1, going. So most of our dirty clothes fit in load 1. This is not going to be part of this video, although it is something that stresses me out a lot. So load 1 had most of our dirty clothes. I've got a handful of things that'll go in the next one with things like towels and sheets. And we'll see. I think I probably have 2 loads left with trying to get all of the linens done. All right, now let's work on the list. One of the big things is going to be resetting the kitchen. There's not a whole lot of dirtiness to do. There's some dishes that need to be taken care of. Most of it is just clutter. And so that I can take care of. I also want to do some resetting in here, at least getting the wedding stuff out of here into the storage room where we're putting all of the stuff, and get rid of some of the trash that the cats like to play with, the boxes. They will still have plenty of toys, don't worry. And then, like I said, the bedroom, cleaning the bathroom. I don't think I'm going to do anything with my office today other than, like I'll clean out the litter boxes. That is just a normal thing that happens, not a special thing for John being gone. The one that inspired this, creating this list is actually this room. So, trying to do angles so it's harder to tell where we actually live. I want to do the jamb of the 2 windows in here. About 3 years ago, John made a video on his like vlog lower channel where he puts home improvement projects and stuff. Hang on, we gotta sit. So 3 years ago, he made a video where he did the jambs for two of the windows in what is now my office. At the time, it was just a spare room. And in that video, he explained all about how to do it. And so I think that I have a pretty good idea. Looking at these windows though, there's a little bit of some complications that I'll talk about when we get to that part. But I think that I can do most of it and still be okay. And then John will just have to come in with like a jigsaw or something. Or maybe I just do one window and we take it from there and he can do the other window. In that video though, 3 years ago, he said that he was gonna do like one window a week. I think after that video he did one more. But so there's the two in here, there's one in our bedroom, and then our big living room window, and I think one or two more. There are some that are covered by curtains, and so I never pay attention, but I don't think that the one in the dining room is done. And then the one in the kitchen, I stand in front of a lot, but that's not, like, normally I'm looking down at the sink, not at the window. But I think that that one might need to be done as well. But I want to clear out this room. See, we've got lots of stuff in here, so that we can start getting it into a space where if we had a guest during the weekend of the wedding, they would have somewhere to stay. This room is so small, and it feels even smaller because of all of the stuff in it. And so they say that it's big enough for a queen bed in here, but honestly, I don't know where you would put it. Especially because there's two doors leading to the rest of the house. That one comes out like near the front of the house, and then this one here right by the garage in the basement. So I don't know what you're gonna do with that. And then I've also been storing, I've been storing a lot of wedding stuff in here. I just realized there's a couple of other, I was putting together some guest bags recently, and I thought that I had more stuff. I did. I just already moved it in here. So I need to move a bunch of stuff out of here so I can do the windows, and then also, you know, start fixing it up, vacuum the floors, and maybe find some space for these things. This room really stresses me out, so I just try to never look at it. Anyway, then other just like home maintenance, life maintenance stuff that I need to do. I need to go grocery shopping today before dinner so that I can make dinner for myself, and actually have leftovers tomorrow for lunch, because when I make dinner and John's here, we rarely have leftovers. And if we do have leftovers, I usually let him take it for lunch if he would like it. Anyway, I need to stop talking and start doing. So I need to write things down so that I can have a checklist and feel good about checking things off and not forget any of the 10 million things I just told you. All right, here is my list, kind of organized by room. And then at the bottom, there's a couple of things that are for me / like my regular work. I am off work today, but then tomorrow I'm back on work. And so I need to get as much done today as I can. And then that means that tomorrow, I could make dinner on here. No. But then tomorrow I can do the things that are the quicker, like 5-minute tasks. on breaks during the day, and then I'm not sure exactly what time John's getting home. So I at least want to make sure that any messes that I make in the name of cleaning are put away. And so at some point, end of the day today, beginning of the day tomorrow, or midday tomorrow, I'm going to have to make some choices. I think he's going to be getting home really late, just based off of how the trip's been going and all of the thrifting stops he's been making, but he's surprised me before, so I'll have to keep a watch on his location. One of the things I'm doing is trying to do a only touch it once rule. So, well, okay, two things that I'm trying to do is minimize my trips up and downstairs. So if I'm going downstairs to move the laundry around or whatever, and I don't already have something in my hands, I want to bring something from the clutter down here to join its friends with the other clutter. And so I was coming downstairs, I need to find an empty big like Rubbermaid tote to start putting the clothes in for the garage sale. And so I brought down this DVD shelf, and then also an only touch it once rule. So if I bring it down here, trying to put it where it actually belongs, if it has a place it actually belongs. In this case, DVD shelf does. I also moved the lamp over a little bit, so when I bring down the other DVD shelf, it has a spot that I think is where John wants it, because I don't think we want it to go too close to the door. Maybe we'll change our mind later on. If you were an empty tote, this is where I would put you. We've got this one, but I definitely want one with a lid, preferably, so I'll keep looking. It's in a different spot, I guess. Also, for the windows, I know that I'm going to need some stuff from down here, but actually, I'm not very good at knowing what tools are. I've got a staple gun. I know I'm going to need a nail gun that I believe is Ryobi, and some tin snippers and a measuring tape. I'll also need to grab a box cutter, so I might grab that while I'm in here, and of course a level. I know he's got a lot of tools at our other house as well, and so I'm definitely gonna have to make some trips over there anyway to cut the boards, because that's where his big saw is at the moment, because that's where a lot of things are happening. I don't know what's where. Are these tin snips? I should watch the video again to see what they look like. It looked like that, but maybe not exactly. Well, we found the lids. Where are the boxes? Maybe one of those will fit the empty box we found. Well, I found where he hid my shoes. A while ago, he said that he brought my shoes, some of my shoes down here, and put them under the stairs. And that is technically under the stairs, but I thought they were in a different under the stairs location. It's kind of hard to describe. Like, it's two separate rooms, and both of them have under the stairs. Just one is more of a closet-y vibe. I don't know where we put these empty boxes, because I definitely had some that I emptied clothes out of when I was unpacking, and as far as I know, they didn't get refilled. Okay, why won't this chair move? Some empty boxes over there. Am I going to be able to get to them? There's definitely also a chance that my empty boxes, if they're not filled with stuff now, just got moved to the new house, which I can pick up later, and I'll stop worrying about for right now. So let me get started on another task like this. Oh, see, yeah. It looks like the jam was sort of done, although not very well. And then, but not all of the trim, which tells me that either he did this one when he didn't know how to do them yet, or because of like where the cabinets are, it would be very difficult. And we do have a plan to tear out all the cabinets and stuff. So maybe we don't mess with that just yet. All right, new sheets are on the bed. We do have matching sheets, don't worry. But the way that we put away sheets after they've gone through the wash means that the right ones are not, or the matching ones aren't always easy to find. And so I think we need to come up with a new system for that if we care. But honestly, it's okay. I'm okay with the fact that they are not always going to be matching. Because we're just going to make them again in a week or two, hopefully. And if they're not matching, and I can change them to being matching, then I'm more likely to change them. There's a long story about the sheets and how they get taken care of, but honestly, clean sheets are better than matching sheets. Matching dirty sheets. Clean, not matching sheets are better than matching dirty sheets. And I'm okay with that. Accepted it. Next, we're tackling kitchen stuff. Going for quick, low effort, high impact items here. And the kitchen is definitely a place of stress for both me and John when it's not clean, which is frequently. So I need to empty the dishwasher, put the dirty dishes in the dishwasher. I need to clear out the expired and very gross stuff from the fridge. I won't show you all of that because there's one dish in there that I know is moldy. It's been in there for months. We really need to get better at eating things. Anyway, oh, I got pizza in there, so I don't necessarily need to go grocery shopping today. Again, I can, and I still might, but if not, I will eat that pizza. If I get hungry before I have a chance to go. All right, let's get this going. I did all of the dishes that were out. I do need to put my ring back on, but since I'm cleaning, I might not do that quite yet. I think next I'm gonna do the counters and the stovetop and save the fridge for last. Fridge and floors, just because I know it's gonna be stinky and I'm gonna have to take out the trash immediately after I do that. So I want to have everything else that's going in the trash already in there before I take that one out. Let's go! Alright, so I've got this bag of John's stuff, which is, he's got to figure out something to do with it. But everything else is basically, okay, not that tub. Don't look at that. Everything else is kind of cleared off the counters. There's a couple things that I have to put away, like a tub, I forgot. And then we will wipe them off. And John, you can deal with that when you get home. Part of the problem is he really likes to hold on to certain things that like I would probably just throw away. And so I don't know where he wants it. I don't even really know what to do with this bag at the moment. Because I'm sure there will be more John stuff as I go to the other rooms of the house. All right, stovetop cleared off wipe down. I could take the like extra little stove cleaner thing that we have to it, but for right now it is good enough. It is functional for me to be able to cook on without feeling gross. And kind of same goes for the countertops. Are they perfect? No, but they are good enough so that I don't feel gross. That is one thing that I'm trying to unlearn, is that even if I know, what used to happen is, it's like, okay, I know I can't do this perfectly, so what's the point of doing it at all? It's not accurate. A little bit is better than nothing. My feet are feeling gross, so I definitely want to take care of these floors, just so that my feet don't feel gross. And I still need to clear out the inside of the fridge. I cleared off the outside of the fridge, just because it was getting very cluttered, and I know that that's something that John has been wanting us to do. We have to find somewhere new for our postcards to live, because I definitely want to keep having them accessible to read and look at and everything, but that might be a project for another day. Oh, and it only took me like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Nope. I've been cleaning for about an hour, hour and a half, including some different side quests, getting the laundry started. I started around noon and it is now a little after 2. But like of actual cleaning time, it's been about 2 hours. I've gotten a lot done, but imagine if it was like already reasonably clean, because I did this every day, or like every day we made sure that the counters were cleared off. Then there'd only be 1 day's worth of clutter and grime on it, so it'd be a lot simpler. I realize I'm not showing you like action shots very much, but I almost threw up. So if you want a dramatic reenactment of that, it's just something like that. Like I said, there's a pasta dish on there that I could see the mold through the side of the Pyrex, and I'd been in there for a very long time. So I threw the stuff out and brought the bag immediately outside. So, but the fridge is cleared out. I also had to dump a bunch of very old milk, which also smelled bad, but not quite as bad. I think mostly because I could just like turn my head and pour it into the sink with the water running, and so that helped a lot. Whereas with the pasta, I was just like cleaning it out with paper towel, and so now I put it immediately in the sink with some soapy water, so it could start to unstink while I check the other stuff out. But I'm gonna put this in the dishwasher and run it, and then the only thing we'll have left in the kitchen is, well, I guess I do need to remove those 2 things, and then sweep and do the floors. Hi, Fortran. Hey, baby. Alright, got the jar going on the first load, got the second load in here. It is definitely a little bit more full than we would typically want to do, and we're going to call it bulky. I think everything else is good. Now I've got about 1 more load of clothes, but it would be a very small one. So I might hold off on running that. I realize I am just kind of showing you normal getting my life together stuff. It's not been anything too exciting yet. let's start to tackle the other room. Step one, let's declutter it, at least around the windows. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here. And most of it is important. The problem is, this house is just too small for the amount of stuff that we have. Honestly, it'll get fixed a little bit with the, after the wedding, because we've got just boxes of wedding stuff that need to go somewhere. But then, like, some of these big boxes are Red Cross supplies, different things that John needs to have quick access to if he's getting called out on an emergency. And so we can't just like put them away or get rid of them or put them in the deep dark part of the basement to get them out of this space. There's the nail gun. Found one of the 12s I'm gonna need. Anyway, some of the stuff we can move to the basement, so I'm gonna get started on that. I sat down, which was a mistake. I've been now sitting for, I don't know, a while, and Java is now being very cozy. I need to get up and start doing more things. Otherwise, you know. Oh, big scratch. Oh, John's calling me. Okay, so just talked to John for a while, and now it's time to get up to do the next thing. The next thing's super easy. I do it all the time. It's just cleaning the litter boxes, and they need it because it's been a couple of days. This is another one that I think should be a nightly checklist item. So, making sure that the sink and the counters are cleared and litter boxes are scooped nightly. Found the tubs. Alright. So, I might just grab one of them to start with. Start putting some garage sale things in. Alright, so step one of replacing the windows is prepping the area. Part of that is getting the clutter all away from it, which I've partially done. Still a lot of clutter. I don't have anywhere to put it. So we're moving on to part two, which is cleaning up the edges. So we need to get rid of this goop that's around the edges that I have the knife for, and then these little nails around the edges I will need 10 snips for. I'm not confident in what those look like, so we might not get to that part. The other complication is, you see how this isn't like flush with the edge? So I think that we would need to come in here with a like saw, like a sawzall or something to take care of that. And I don't trust me with that. So this one is much better. We've got a little bit of an issue over there, but if it is less than like, I forget, ½ inch or something, that is okay. And we just have to take it into account with our measurements and our placements of things. But this one, I think, is our best bet for being able to actually do the whole project without needing help. So let's get to cutting. Now I was trying this with a wimpier knife before, and it just wasn't quite working out. I think partially because it was wimpy, partially because it just wasn't very sharp. But this seems to be doing much better. Okay, all of the stuff is cut back. I think it's cut back enough. There's some bits that are less cut back, but I don't know. This window, I'm done. I'm not gonna touch it, but I'm done. I mean, I'm done, not the window's done. It is maybe 3% done, but it seems like there's some more going on with it than what I am prepared to deal with. So, next step is I gotta find the snips, but I can actually do most of this without the snips. And so if I can't find it, I'm just gonna keep on going. The only thing that I'm not sure if I need to go buy is wood glue. And so that could potentially be a problem. Whenever drying fitted sheets, I always try and check, at least before it goes in the dryer, whether there are anything stuck in the corners. Now, there will always end up something stuck in it later on, but it at least gives us a chance. Everything I'm throwing it now is towels, rug from the bathroom, rugs from the kitchen, and shower curtain looks pretty good. And I have to, how do I do this while filming? So now we fold. Ordinarily, John does the folding, but since he is not here, I am doing the folding. And ordinarily, I also wouldn't stop in the middle of doing other things to immediately fold, but it feels right today. And with a really long list of stuff that I need to do, whatever feels right on the list is what we're doing, because something is better than nothing. All right, I put away all the laundry, and I have the tubs in the bedroom to start putting away. Yes, ma'am. Start putting away the garage sale items. But first I'm going to eat dinner. I am eating the pizza. I did not make it to the grocery store today. Hopefully I'll be able to do that tomorrow. I do already have a list mostly written that John and I made last week, and then life happened and we did not get to the grocery store. So gonna try and go, yeah, Fortune just is the star of the show. Gonna try and go tomorrow, especially because since I'm eating this pizza now and I didn't make anything, I don't have any lunch for tomorrow. But I have a bunch of clean dishes to also put away after I eat this. And I can make my coffee for the week. The way that I make the coffee, it lasts for there's like 4 days worth. Because it's cold brew that I prepare at the beginning of the week. So 1 day a week I get Starbucks or some other breakfast. I do have a bunch of protein shakes that I should also probably enjoy at some point. I just finished up my closing duties, which for tonight is really just putting away the dishes that were in the dishwasher, which is another one that John normally does when he's here. But it allowed me to have a clean sink because I had a dishwasher to put my dinner dishes in. So everything is still looking nice. I checked off the laundry. I checked off the dishes thing that I just said. Sorry. And now I'm gonna do one of the items that's on the list just for me, which is to read a book. And I yesterday finished the book that I was reading, and so now I need to start a new one, and I have several picked out that I think would be good next ones that actually, anyway, long story. Some of these I've read a couple pages of. One is The Fall by Albert Camus. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I read The Stranger in high school, and also by him. And I remember enjoying it, even though I didn't get it very well. Then there's the Spamalot Diaries, which I think, even though it's a little thicker than the other ones on this list, might go quickly, because this type of book I normally just devour in an hour or so. Then Chess by Stefan Zweig. It's been on my list for a while to read at this moment in time. I don't remember what it's about. But I want to say there was a movie based off of it. Slightly different name of the movie, though. If I do read this, I will look it up and put it on in my like description thing. Then I've got Thornhedge, which is I think Beauty and the Beast retelling. I forget. Oh no, there's a princess trapped in a tower, but this isn't her story. Not all curses should be broken, so it must be a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but not about Sleeping Beauty, I guess. Yes, you're very cute. Also, I have a very needy cat, so this reading might not be super effective. Ladies' Lunch is a series of short stories. Yeah. And then Psychological Safety is a nonfiction book about psychological safety, which is, do you feel safe bringing up challenges at work? Can you do so without feeling like you're going to get retaliated against? And there's some forms of retaliation that are illegal, so you should always feel at least that level of psychologically safe. But this is also just like, if you challenge somebody's idea, can you do that without them immediately thinking that you are like out to get them or whatever? It's a lot more complicated than that. I've read several books on psychological safety already, so not by these authors though. I've mostly read by Amy Edmondson. It's brilliant. She kind of coined the term, I think. And she's got some amazing books on it. But I wanted to expand, hear what some other people have to say, and so that's what this is. I'm a little bit worried that because it's kind of a high-level view of psychological safety, written for somebody who hasn't already read several books on it, that it might be a little bit repetitive. It might not be as interesting to me. So I just gotta pick one. These all sound great. I want to tell you which one I'm going to read, but I need to sit here and think about it for a little while longer. Oh, the other thing that I did as part of my nighttime duties was I made my coffee for the week. which I was waiting for the dishes to be done in order to do that because the thing that I make my coffee in was in the dishwasher. I'm so glad I got a dishwasher safe one this time. And it's gonna make my life much simpler as long as I make sure that it gets washed at a reasonable hour on Sundays usually. Alright, talk to you later. Java's also here. So I found the tape measure, found some other stuff. I don't have snips still, but I haven't gone over to the other house yet. The other house has the big saw that I'm gonna need, and so I need to load up some stuff into my car to take over there. And I don't know if it's gonna fit. I don't have to go very far, so it's not a big deal, but it's not a little deal either. There is a like smaller push kind of circle saw thing, but I feel like it's gonna be better if I can use the big one. So I'm gonna get the measurements, I'm gonna pack up my car, and probably after work go over there and start making some cuts. Alright, I'm not going to go over everything that John went over in his video. I'll link it below so that you can get the details. Just going to go over my process. I was able to fit it in the car. I don't have the measurements yet, so I don't actually know how much wood I'm going to need. But my lunch break's almost over, so I need to get back to that. I will take my measurements after lunch and we'll talk through it, and I'll show you how I had to get it in the car. It's good enough to get me around the block, I'll say. And I brought I put two of each kind of board, the jam board and the trim board in there. I think I should only need one for one window, but this window is not the same size as the one that he did, so who knows. Alright, we did some measuring, we did some math. No, we did the measuring, now I need to do some math. It was actually pretty square. When he did his other video, talked about sometimes you get a little bit off, but honestly, I'm a little worried. I'm not always great at getting very exact measurements, I'll say. I think that I did well though. So next we do a little bit of math so that the height is actually going to be about an inch less because it's going to go inside of the other two. And then we also need to add, to get the trim measurements, we just add 6 inches, but also something about 1/8 of an inch showing on either side. I've got notes, I'll figure it out. Alright, so these right here are the final measurements that I need to get. If you want an explanation of the math, go to John's video. Never thought I'd say that. He also recommended using the same measuring tape as you did, like when you're cutting the boards, as you did when you were measuring the thing, just in case there's some small inaccuracies. But honestly, with the way I was measuring, I feel like there might be some inaccuracies. So this is how they're in here. They definitely seem to be a little warped from all their time in the garage, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, at the new house, and like the excellent YouTuber that I am, I left my phone in the car. But I got everything. I brought it downstairs. And here is the saw. So great. Here's the wood. Awesome. Let's get to cutting. So, it works. Alright. Step one, of course, now the air conditioner comes on. Step one, he said, cut off the ends. Those are usually a little, like, not perfect. So we'll cut those off and then see how it goes. Short roof or ceiling down here. So, we have goggles down here. That almost wouldn't have slept on. Alright, I'm gonna find some goggles and do this safely, but you're not gonna watch. You're making me nervous. Alright, there are my 4 beautifully cut side pieces. There are the end bits. As I was saying, very glad I brought 2 of each type of board, because I'm gonna need it, I guess. Which doesn't really make any sense. They're supposed to be, no, I guess it does. They're 8 feet long, and each side is just over 3 feet, so I guess. I thought I heard a noise upstairs, so I had to go and make sure that I wasn't about to be murdered. This house has a lot of noises, but it does not have good air conditioning. I gotta figure out what's going on with that. Anyway, on to cutting the trim. Now these are a little bit tricky because you gotta cut them 45 degrees and in the right direction. Some people want the thinner part towards the window. Some people want the thinner part away from the window. And I wrote down which one we're gonna do, so I'm gonna check that. I don't like that the door is behind me while I'm running the saw, because I can't hear anything. And so, like, every time I run it, I quick turn around real fast. Also, it's probably too big of a saw to be on the circuit breaker system that we have here. So every time it goes on, the lights flicker just like a tiny bit. It's gonna be fine. I just need to cut 2 more. I did mess up one of the angles on this one, so I ended up wasting a tiny bit. Luckily I noticed before I cut both sides, because otherwise I'd have to come back here and I don't want to do that. Alright, cuts are all done, so it's time to get out of this haunted house. I think these are tin snips or whatever he said to use to cut the metal. I looked up the part number online. It seemed like maybe. Hopefully he won't be mad that I'm taking it from this house and bringing it to the other one. Hopefully he won't be mad if I use this on metal. Online it looked like I could. Alright, back at the house. I think I can get up until the part where I need to glue it, which I still haven't actually found any glue, before I need to go close the auction. John is going to be a little late. I don't know. I hope he's not planning on driving through the night. But he was supposed to get home tonight around like 10 or something, and there were various delays and thrifting. And so now he's not coming back until tomorrow. Which is good, because it meant that I could continue working on this. Thought that there was a chance that he was going to come home early, and so I am grateful to have the extra time. Also, I need to bring a bunch of Amazon boxes to the warehouse to get crushed. So it's good that I'm gonna go close the auction so John doesn't come home and just see a pile of Amazon boxes. He'd be fine with the stuff, he just doesn't like the clutter. Anyway, Next step is assembling the trim box. No, not the trim. The, you know, the jam box. And in my notes, I said, make sure to put the finished side down. Which, I didn't think there was an unfinished side. So I might need to go and look at that video again. Perfect. Oh, gotta do that last one. I'm just kidding. I haven't assembled any of it yet. John just called as I was getting ready to use his nail gun. It was like he had a spidey sense. I talked to him for a little while, and then I went back and I watched more of the video, and he puts 4 of these nails per corner. That seems like excessive, but we're gonna try it. I've never used a nail gun before. That I am a little worried about. It'll be fine. It'll be great. And then I also looked at the bit where he was cutting the nails out of the frame, and the tool that I got is not what he used, but I have a better idea of what it looks like, so I'm gonna look back through his tools again and see if I can find that. Maybe the thing I got would work, because it did say that it would be able to cut some metal, but just like really thin metal. I'm so nervous about this part. Okay. Is there a... How do I... There we go. Did it. Got one of them down. The trick is, you gotta push the gun in enough that, like, I guess the safety releases so I don't accidentally, like, shoot when it's not pressed right up against something. Which is good, theoretically. That one wasn't very good. Alright, got all the corners done. Now it's time to bring it in the house. See if it fits. Fits like a glove. Okay, so I might need to clean up the top a little bit, but it is the right size. What I'm not going to be able to do though is the trim. I feel like John would appreciate me not doing the trim, because looking at it, maybe it doesn't quite fit like a glove. I don't know. I'll let him decide. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to leave this video. I have some more little household things that I need to get done. So sleepy. And hang out with cats, and then go close the auction. I'm closing the auction this time, Jen. So hi. I don't know if you watch my channel. You should. Anyway, like, share, subscribe if you see this before John does. go comment on the video about the window frames and tell him that his tutorial works great. At least up until the trim part. Okay, bye.